grind until we finish. Every day we gotta get it. Just hard work, gotta grind until we finish. Limitless.
First off, Ganon, I'd like to thank you for coming out here to Chicago again.
Yeah, man. Good pizza.
Good pizza for sure.
Good blue-collar people. You got me in a nice hotel. Thank you, man.
Well, man, first off, everything that I do is, for the kids and for them to learn and to get better. But what I think is important is also for, the parents, to learn, because ultimately parents want their kids to have a great experience and probably get a scholarship. But a lot of parents don't know how to teach their kids how to win in a game of basketball. And so kind of what I want to do is just kind of talk about what the parents need to do, what the coaches should do, and what the players should be doing to win in the game of basketball.
Yeah, great question. So, welcome to the Parental Podcast. We're going to talk about educating your baby girl or baby boy in their endeavors, whether it be school, social life. Kids need to be winners in life too. We call it social winning. They need to win in the classroom, which is an A or a B or whatever your potential is. And then obviously you and I are basketball coaches, so we're going to, talk about how to win in the game of basketball, but also it translates to other sports. Right. But first and foremost, I don't expect parents how to teach their kids how to win in a sport if they didn't. I don't expect parents to teach their kids how to win if they don't have the necessary time to research it. That's our job. That's what we get paid for. We're the coach, right? We're coaching basketball, we're coaching life. So that's our job. And it frustrates me that there aren't more professionals in the training industry and more coaches in high school, college, AAU, that don't take the time to learn how to educate, inspire, motivate their players to teach them how to win. It's called culture. Right. And basically, parents have to understand that winning changes your life. Like, I spent a week with Ray Allen in Spain, and he said one of the greatest things about basketball is it taught me how to have winning behavior. Like, winning changes your life. So now you have the conviction, you have the competency, you have the clarity. You have the confidence to go out and apply the behaviors you had on the court to the relationship, right? To that girl that you want to ask out, to that guy you want to marry, to that business that you want to start, to the boss that you work for. You want to be recognized as a winner. So winning is important because it helps you become an avenger. It helps that unshakable confidence that you can have for the rest of your life. I'm a Christian, and I would not be a Christian if Jesus didn't win. He did not lose. He was a winner, right? It's already written that we're going to win as Christians. So, I follow winners, I study winners, I try to act like a winner. And parents need to understand first and foremost why winning is important. And there's a myth out there saying that it's not whether you win or lose, it's how you play the game. That is false. It's not whether you win. Winning is everything, but it's more important, yes, to act like a winner. That's the root of it. Look, you're not going to win all the time, but what's more important is you learn what winners do. You learn how to define a win. What's a win for you in your marriage? What's a win for you today when you woke up? I had 3 or 4 things I'm thinking about today that, look, I got to knock these out. I want to win at that. And if parents can get their kids in front of teachers that teach their child how to win, how to think like a winner, how to act like a winner, and then how to transfer emotion like a winner, that's the most important thing. And if they do that consistently, they're going to win. They're going to win! Love this. This is great. We in heaven, man.
Right. So let's think about it from the parent's perspective. Like, when I'm first getting my kid into basketball, like, what are some things that I should be looking for when I take my kid to learn the game from somebody?
Right. So basically what you're asking is, all right, man, how do I win in basketball, whether it be elementary, middle, or high school? Let's start at the grassroots. That's the grassroots, elementary, middle and high school. And I don't care whether you're 8 years old or 18, you have to be in an environment where the leaders, the teachers, the coaches have the values that winners do. So what are the values of a winner? Number one, they got to be in an environment where that coach has enthusiasm, energy. I've been to 52 countries, 6 continents at the present time. I've been in front of well over 20, I think, world champions, like Hall of Famers. All of them had energy, enthusiasm. How many coaches in this area that you know of, maybe they work with you, that you constantly got to tell them, hey man, get your motor up, get your energy, get enthusiasm, right? That will engage the kids. That will excite the kids. That will help the kids have more fun because the coach has a childlike heart, right? That's number one. Number two, the coach has to teach winning, right? And part of winning is the answers to the test. Teach the kids how to play the game. And so for basketball parents, that's drills that have basics, moves and counters, and team concepts. So make sure that coach is well versed in the fundamentals of basketball. There's shooting drills, there's dribbling drills. There's not just all dribbling. It's not just all moves, right? There's passing, there's catching, there's rebounding, if we're talking about offense. And then from that, right, these kids need to learn how to be a great teammate. And so part of that is the coach has to be able to teach talking and touching. The coach has to transfer his energy, his love into the players and the other coaches. And so there has to be an awareness of, all right, we got 10 players on the team. I'm going to teach all of them how to be a great teammate, right? Winning's important, but we have to focus on how to act like a winner. What do? Energy, be a great teammate. And so the drills for that are 2-on-0, 3-on-0, 4-on-0, 5-on-0, 5-on-5, 3-on-3, 2-on-2. And that's just scratching the surface. There's actually 6 Hall of Fame, right, behaviors that winners do. And we just covered 2 of them, you know, energy, enthusiasm, right, working hard with a purpose, and then being a great teammate, talking and touching, right? So, you know, just to scratch the surface, parents need to find a coach that they can, I don't know much about ball, but I know he's a teacher. He's a coach. It's that awareness that parents need to understand and feel. Again, if they don't know, come to our camp tonight. Go to your feed. Go to my feed. There's plenty of great teachers and coaches out there in every sport that you can find on the internet. And parents, if anything, must do their due diligence and research. Hey, is he teaching my kid how to win in life and win in basketball? Because it's not about ranking. It's not about, you know, doing all these crazy drills. It's about that coach actually using the drills, right? And using ranking as motivation to get back to teaching these kids how to win.
Well, I mean, I think the first thing is obviously being a good teammate, enthusiasm, right? Enthusiasm is super, super, super important, right? And then communication, right? Am I teaching players how to communicate, how to talk, you know, how to touch, right? And I think that's like super important. And then the next thing that I would say is the ability to learn, right? If you don't know how to learn, then how are you going to retain the information that your coach is giving you? How are you going to retain the information that your parent, your teacher is giving you? So I think those are important.
Very good. So let's review. Number one, you got to have tremendous passion, energy, emotion. Your motor has to be up. You know, we all call it working hard, but you got to be able to work hard with purpose, right? Doing it right, doing it efficient. When I was with Kobe, he always talked about, now I'm gonna get 10 out of 10. I'm gonna do it with perfection. He's chasing perfection. Nobody's on you in a workout, right? Coaches have to emphasize and hold these players accountable, right, with doing it right. Number two, you said communication. You got to be able to talk and touch. You got to be able to direct and correct. And so if the kids aren't doing that, the coaches must hold them accountable, make them run, a push-up, emphasize it, because what you emphasize shows up. You know, your actions follow the words. Your words create your world. So these coaches got two choices. They can coach it or they can allow it. As parents, you got two choices. You can address it or you can allow it. I guarantee if your child is selfish with me, it's because you guys are allowing it at home. If your kid is lazy with me, it's because you're not nurturing it at home. You either coach it or you allow it. And number three, it's being a great teammate. What is that? It's using that communication to now celebrate, to empower, to encourage, to direct. Now it's taking that communication and it's actually, you're using it to help your teammates become connected. Great teams on defense are connected. Great offense. It's a nonverbal look, right? I can say something, hey, with this kind of tone, and you're not intimidated. You're not embarrassed because there's a connection. It's chest bumping. It's high fiving. It's helping people up. It's pointing. It's Gatorade. I'll give you a Gatorade. I'll get your water. I'll rebound for you. It's sticking up for you in social media. It's being relational. In today's day and age, D, what's missing, parents, we have to, and I'm speaking with me too because I'm weak at this at times, we have to get our kids out of technology and into human touch. It's amazing to me, even the 19, 20, 22-year-olds that come stay with me, they're in college, they're doing pre-draft, they come stay with me in Florida, we do mentorship. They have very little social fitness. You know what social fitness is? It's being in shape with, hey brother, how you doing? You have red blood. I have red blood. That bonds us. What's up? Where are you from? What do you enjoy? What are your fears? Whatever. It's being communicative, man. It's amazing to me. I'll go on a college campus. I was speaking at a college campus last year. I got 5 more opportunities to go on college campuses and speak. And you go on college campus, man, everybody's like this. Everybody's like this. There's no head nod. You know, when you go walk down the street, when I was growing up, what's up? What's up? I mean, there was a connection, man. And there's no the social fitness of kids is very low, therefore on the court, right? I know with us, hey man, you can't bring your phone on the court, and if you do, it's got to be for an emergency. So after the workout, you're processing the workout. During water breaks, we're connected. You know what I mean? And then that little thing just there, that little emphasis, if coaches are doing that, parents, that's probably a coach that's teaching winning behavior. But when you say, you know, talk and touch as teammates, that's amazing. So we got work hard with purpose, passion. We got communicate, right? We got teammates, talk and touch. And then the other one you said was learn, right? Kids got to have the ability to learn. What they know is important, but what they forget, what you forget will kill you. It's called aptitude. And Europe has it. That's why they're catching up with us. Because in Europe, I've been to, I don't know, 18, 19, 20 European countries. When I played in college, when I was with Amari, Kobe, like they all wrote stuff down. They wrote, John Wooden wrote stuff on napkins, put it in his wallet. He was one of the all-time GOATs of coaching because when you write stuff down, it becomes alive. Football players have a playbook. They got to study. Why not basketball? But it's amazing to me now, I'm a metaphorically spank you trainers and coaches. You guys are coaching all these drills, and I can't even get a hold of your curriculum. You guys put out all these videos and social media, beautiful stuff. It's getting 1 million, 2 million views. But where's your blueprint for it? I ask you in real time, hey, what are the whys behind this drill? Then you're all over the place. You need to be able to explain what you do to a grandma watching you that has no idea, never read a basketball book, nor saw a basketball video, but because of your professional, communicative, creative, clear communication, you can explain to her, oh, this is what we do. Basketball is a simple game, but it's not easy. And so one of the things that's missing from grassroots is coaches are doing a poor job, the ones that lose, the ones that are mediocre, the ones that always have kids transferring because they're not learning. 70% of kids, USA Today did a poll of kids entering age 13, 70% quit sports. Why? They're either not having fun or not learning. Not learning, and kids don't want to learn. That's bullcrap. Learning's addictive. Tony Robbins, the biggest way to joy, right? Joy is unbreakable happiness. It's not based on circumstances, it's based on being. It's growth. When you get that muscle, I want some more of that. When you learn how to make a jumper, I want some more of that. Learning's addictive. It's hard to learn. It's easy not to learn, but learning's addictive. I experience that. I see that with my kids. Man, Lisa is just, you've taught her something that she didn't know, and she's addicted now. Yeah, she's into it. She loves it because she's learning, but it's hard to teach. Why don't coaches be more accountable and help these players with their ability to learn, with their aptitude? Why? Because it's hard. It means you got to study. You got to organize your notes. You got to create a PDF. You got to be able to learn how to deliver it to many different learning styles. I mean, hey, I'm a small business owner. I'm an entrepreneur, right? You know how I make my paychecks? I teach. I'm a teacher. I'm a professional. Yeah, I have a master's and undergrad, but hey, these parents get their money's worth because I deliver education. Education is the quickest way out of poverty. So when you said learn, that's huge. I'm gonna add one: compete, fight. Right? Every drill, once the kids learn, there should be a score and a time. Every drill should have a winner and a loser, and coaches need to be aware of that. Like any Hall of Famer I've ever worked out, when they lost, hey, let's play again. And so coaches need to teach that. Coaches need to compete within themselves. How are you going to be a PE teacher and you're overweight? How are you going to be a player development coach and you come in flip-flops or slides? How are you going to get your kids to work hard and how are you going to demonstrate when you're wearing a sweatsuit, you can't even move? Like that, to me, you want to compete as a coach? Be in good shape like them. Show them the way, not always tell them the way. Get in there and give them some flesh. Like, get into them, confront, right? Compete with your players. Address mediocrity, address laziness, address disrespect. You're not fighting with them physically, but metaphorically you are, because there's no resolution without true competitive conversation. But you need to compete. You need to show them the way. If you're not a competitor, you can't teach it. So competing is, man, looking the part, getting in there, show them. Ask them questions and see if they know it. Put up $100. I'll give y'all $100. I'll do this tonight. $100 if you can tell me 4 reasons why you get to the paint in regards to how it breaks down the defense. I'll give you $200. You should give me 4 rules of transition defense in order. That's competing, right? Finding the answers to the test, searching the keys to the kingdom, fighting. And again, you want to find a competitor, right? You want to really connect with elite people? Show them what they don't know.
Right. So I think this is important as well, and I think this could be for coaches and parents. So you list a lot of behaviors and different things, but what about when you come up against that kid where you're trying to teach one thing, but the parent is teaching something totally different, and it's like kind of hidden, and you can't get through to that kid because the parent is teaching something else or telling the kid, now you need to score 40, and you're like, we need to play team basketball. So how, as a trainer, do you deal with that, and what can you say also to, the parents to make sure that they're helping the coaches?
Yeah, that's a great question, and that's a common problem and trend is that you have conflicting voices. Welcome to the NBA. You got Eric Spoelstra saying one thing, for an example. I'm not saying this happens, right? You got Eric Spoelstra, you got Pat Riley saying one thing to Jimmy Butler, and then Jimmy Butler's got his agent speaking totally different, and then he's got his boys, and then he's got his fans, right? There's many different voices in winner's head. I mean, as a Christian, you have the voice of God, and then you have your flesh. So it's spiritual. It's been around for the test of time, and so that's something that we need to collaborate and join together. We have to be one voice, right? One heartbeat, one mind. Coaches and parents and trainers have to have the same passion and vision. If you don't have the same passion and vision, you're disjointed. That's what losers do. That's a losing mindset. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna do what's best for me. Yeah, unless you suck. When kids tell me, I'm gonna be me. Cool, be you unless you suck. I mean, I'm gonna do me. Do me unless me is not part of the team. If me is not part of we, don't be you. So what I have done is even at sometimes workouts where the dad or mom would say something and then be totally wrong or not in line with what I'm teaching. Water break, go talk to the mom. Hey, look, nah, you can't be saying that. Respectfully, you trust me? Yeah, I trust you. Yeah, you can't be saying that. That's not right. We need to tell her this. You don't need to say, it's going to confuse her, because she loves you, mama, and she trusts me. So you got to educate the parents on why you're right, because they're basically saying F you. Cool. If you F me, then you got to educate me. Why are you right? Now, as a trainer or a coach, you got to have the skill sets to communicate, right, and be a hostage negotiator. You know what I mean?
Right.
You got to be able to connect and get them to buy in and get them to see what you see, get them to feel what you feel. I don't care whether you have street cred or not. Street cred helps, but you can't always say, well, I've been doing this 25 years in 52 countries. All right, Ganon, okay. Man, I trained LeBron and this is what we do. Okay, but the truth fears no question. If you give them the truth on why they need to pass, you give them the truth on why they need to be in shape, if you give them evidence, data, resources on where they can go learn and research. You got to teach them to get an A in basketball like you. Unfortunately, most trainers and coaches don't get A's in basketball because they don't study. We were just talking about it. How many trainers learn from YouTube and blame, I can't afford it, but they got a Porsche or they got Jordans. No disrespect, I'm not saying you guys not. But you know what I'm saying? Like they have to be able to invest in themselves so that they can confront a disgruntled parent. So basically what you do is you get the trainer, you get the head coach, and you get the parents, and you get the kid sometimes, and all in the same room. And you hash it out like you're in Congress. Sometimes Congress does good things, sometimes they do, negative things, but you got to get them all in a room and let the air out, because you're only sick as your secrets. If you're not saying it to somebody's face, it's gossip. And if you really want the truth, you can't be afraid to confront and get them all on the same page, and then back up your why with concrete evidence on this is winning basketball and this is how it's going to help them in life. Because if they're trying to do their own thing, right, and get clicks and comments and likes and rankings, that's not basketball, that's tennis, that's golf. And even in tennis and golf, they have a team. Together, everyone achieves more, right? There's no I in team. But Kobe would say, yeah, but there's an I in win. There is. But you need, how about this, if I was with Kobe, yeah, but there's an I in win. Yeah, but without the W and the N, there's no win. You need the other two, brother. You're the I, and you need the N and the W. We are the W and the N. So that even with win, there's other letters. I is powerful. Win, WN, is a movement. Now that I, singular, has a word that means something, right? One of my all-time favorite movies, Rocky II. Adrian was in the bed, and she just woke up from a coma, and Rocky was like, if you don't want me to fight this Creed guy, I can do something else. She was like, come here. And Rocky was like, what? She was like, come here. Win. What are we waiting for? Take it. And he had that shirt, win. It's a powerful word. So you got to get the I, which is the player, get the W, which is the parent, and the N, which is the trainer and coaches. Now define that.
You mentioned one of the Hall of Fame behaviors, humility, right? I know you worked with a lot of good players. And today I see with younger players, you got a lot of younger players who are good basketball players, but they're arrogant when it comes to, working out. As far as like, you get Kobe in the gym, he's trying to work harder than everybody. He acts as if he's not a good basketball player because he's humble. But then you get players nowadays that think that they've already arrived, right? how do you, and this is more so for like the player, how do you challenge that player, right, to kind of change their mindset?
So that's a great question. How do you challenge a player that's arrogant? You're a mirror. As a coach, one of the best teaching tools you can use is praise right, correct wrong. So tell him what he's doing good, but also you got to show him. You got to show him with history, tell stories, parables, role models. Basically, you got to find out his why. Why are you doing this? Why do you want to be great? Because I want to make the NBA. I want to go to college. I want to win a championship in high school. Cool. Then you got to show him stories of players that did that. Like Kobe did that. Ganon Baker won a state championship, beat, whatever. Show them stories, right, of people that have done it and their behavior. It's not more of an arrogance thing to me if a kid doesn't want to work on his game, it's laziness. If the kid works on his game and does all the right things, because I've had those players, right? Now they're arrogant. My son, Kal-El, he's very arrogant. He works on his, he's 9, right? But man, for the last 6 months, even when he played hockey, right? He played hockey for a year and a half. He would work and work and work and work and work and work. And now he yells at his teammates. He thinks he knows it all because he works and works. And to me, cockiness is being great and thinking you don't need to know anymore, right? And holding it all into yourself. Confidence is being great, having all this greatness, even saying it, but now you share it. And so, number one, you got to get that kid to know what he doesn't know. Like, show him what he's not good at. And I can humble anybody. I can humble or empower. Like if LeBron was here, I would ask him stuff, and he would know 99.9, maybe all the answers. I'd be like, yes, you're the GOAT. Boom, I'd empower. Way to work. Hey, you got it. Now let's do it again. Let's do it against pressure. Let's do it tomorrow. Another guy, Terry Rozier, great example. I had him for pre-draft. I showed him what he didn't know. And he was like, yo, don't ask me no more questions. You right. I got a lot to learn. Let's go. Because I made him feel so uncomfortable that I broke him down and I humbled him that he's like, yep, you know what? Ganon's got the keys to the kingdom. He's got the answers to the test to help me not only become a first-round pick, but to have a great career. So that as a coach, you got to have the intel. You got to have the information to help that player with the application. So it's the questions you ask. It's the knowledge that you have. It's how you communicate, right? It's the drills you put them through to expose them. So if I got a great player, I'm asking him 10 questions. Most of the time, these young players fail. Well, you just got an F. You're the number 1 player in Wisconsin, and you just got an F in basketball questions. You're not as good as you think you are because I have intel and I've had life experience. I've been at the top, right? I'm still at the top of my game. Oh, you're arrogant, Ganon. No, I'm not. I'm confident because I'm willing to share it. That's why people have a problem with Deion. They don't understand Deion. He's not cocky. He's confident because he shares his greatness. You agree?
Agree.
Damn right. They're trying to take him down because his confidence offends everybody else's insecurities. He's different. Sunglasses, gold chains. Well, he looks like a drug dealer, man. I've heard people say, I mean, he's not. See, you're offensive to his confidence, and you're just mad because you don't have the platform to share your greatness. You're calling him a drug dealer. What the hell have you done in your life to help other people be great? Do you know where he came from? So before you criticize the man, understand the man, because that is the root of racism. And you don't embrace diversity. If we were more diverse as a world, we would have a better world. Anyway, that's another lesson, brother.
It is.
But you have to be, as coaches, you have to be able to expose the player's physical weaknesses and faults with drills, or better players, more pressure, and then mentally you hold them accountable of here are the answers to the test, and then emotionally during the game, during practice, they got to be able to transfer and share their greatness with other teammates. And so to me, easy to expose an arrogant player. I've been playing this game since I was 8. I played the game most of my career in the hood. And for people not understanding, the hood is where you're the only white dude. And the hood is uncomfortable, and the hood at times is dangerous. I took a risk going to the hood. I got hurt mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually, but I also enhanced. I got better mentally, physically, emotionally, and spiritually. But it was my journey, and going to be a coach and going to be the only really skilled trainer working with Nike. Everybody else was college or professional coaches, being the only American in the Middle East at times, China. I've been around where I've always been different. So with my grind, I have the intel to humble people because I got some basketball and life in me. It's easy to do.
And the next thing is for the player and the parent as well. A lot of times a parent feels like their 8-year-old needs to go to an exposure basketball camp, or somebody that's like 12 or 13. And I feel like a lot of parents don't understand that development, now you go expose everybody else once you're developed. Yeah. And a lot of parents think that you have to go to these prep hoop camp and you have to, which all are non-recruitable
They do
events.
think that?
They're non-recruitable events.
Why do the parents think they have to go to all these exposure events?
Because they're being told that you need to come here to be seen. The people that are running the camps.
Okay,
Right.
It's a business.
Maybe the trainer or whoever it is.
Business. They want your money. They want your money, and it's fine if you go there. I'm debating whether to take my 10-year-old, 11-year-old next year, right? He'll almost be 11 next year, to the Phenom National Camp. Right? I'm debating. Why? Because it'd be fun. It'd be fun to have him play out there with 800 more kids. He'll have his little cute uniform. He'll be crying when he loses, and he'll be excited when he wins, and he gets a nice colored ball, and he gets a beautiful uniform. It's fun. It's a social engagement. So it's not wrong if the parents want to use that as a vacation or a fun experience. But as a professional, 90% of them, that's what it is, these events. Now, if you send them there expecting to enhance his basketball game, that doesn't happen. You know what enhances a player's game is working out, is playing pickup, is when they're ready, then go to John Lucas, then go to a Phenom, then go to a 5-star. Because I went to the 5-star camp, 500 kids, but I was ready. I didn't go when I was 8. They didn't have it when I was 8. Yeah, they did have it when I was 8, but they didn't accept 8-year-olds. I went there going into my junior year for 1 week, and I made the all-star team. Nothing happened, no scholarships. I made the all-star team. Here's what I did learn. I learned how to work. I got a drill book. Over 60% of 5-star camp is drills. 40% is ranking and being, basically not even, ranking. You get stars by Tom Konchowski, but it was more of, all right, now college coaches can see you play. I made the all-star team as a junior. I still didn't get any offers. Senior year, I went to 2 weeks of 5-star. Played on Grant Hill's team. Now I ended up getting about 20 Division I offers just from 5-star. Right, playing on Grant Hill's team, winning the championship. The camp still was 60% drills. You know what I mean? So parents need to understand rankings don't matter. It really doesn't. What matters is play in front of a college coach or a prep school coach that's the decision maker to give your son or daughter a full basketball scholarship to a post-grad school, prep school, JUCO, NEIA, Division III, Division II, Division I, where they say, look, for the next 5 years, you're taken care of. You don't have to pay for education, you don't have to pay for school. We're going to give you a chance to compete at a high level, to learn about yourself as a human, and to get a great college education. That's where, if you're trying to figure out a budget and you're limited with funds, you wait for the right opportunity, and then you go to events like that when the player is ready and eligible to receive a scholarship, whether it be 8th grade, 9th grade, 10th grade, 11th grade, 12th grade, right? I think 8th grade, that's when you start to really figure out, all right, how can I get in front of college coaches? Great question. No disrespect to the camps out there, because I speak at a lot of, John Lucas, Phenom, I speak at a lot of them. But I'm saying you got to understand why you're going there. There's a lot of benefits to these camps. Parents have to understand why they're going there. Because if you think you're going there to get ranked, you might, doesn't mean nothing. If you think you're going there to get ranked or get a scholarship and there's no decision makers there, then you're not getting that. If you think you're going there to learn the game and to get better as a player, no, there's not enough time, there's not enough reps. I will say Coach Lucas does a great job at their camps teaching them how to play. I'm excited for the opportunity at Phenom to go and train kids 5 hours a day. So some of these camps are really making the push and the initiative to add development, right? And so the ones I mentioned are the great ones. The other ones, man, I'm not sure, the development part of it, which is fine, but parents can understand you don't have to pay thousands of dollars to go play games. You can get that in your own backyard. You can get that for free at rec centers and summer leagues. But we live in a country of capitalistic spirit, and so capitalism and socialism is always going to be front runners, man. That's what it is. It's a business. Big reason I'm here is to help these kids with their confidence, their toughness, and their intelligence. I spent some time with Damian Lillard and his trainer, Phil Beckner, and Dame said 2 ways to get to the next level, right? High level of toughness, high level of intelligence. If you have those two, then you become confident. How do you teach your kids how to be confident? How do you help them with their confidence?
Well, the first thing is I try to teach my kids to get over their fears right away. So I kind of hit them with, this is going to be hard, but the hard is going to turn into confidence. So I teach a lot of, confidence is grown through failure. The more you do it, right, the more you get comfortable with failing, right, and not comfortable in the sense where you want to keep failing, but I'm going to work at this so much, right, that I'm going to perfect it. And
what are these kids afraid of? You say help them with their fear. What are your kids afraid of?
Well, they're afraid of being different, right? They're afraid of being embarrassed. So I tend to confront my kids and call them out and hold them accountable so they can be comfortable with being embarrassed. And eventually they're not even worried about being embarrassed. Because I think that's a huge thing with kids nowadays is embarrassment.
Yeah. Kids are at an all-time high right now with low pain tolerance, insecurities. Kids are at all-time high with their ignorance and insecurities. And I think as a coach, if you can address that, get it out in the open, talk about the elephant in the room and then show them, empower them, celebrate them, get them to have success at failing and messing up in public, embracing that, but not dwelling on it. Catching them in a moment of despair and giving them tools. Like for us, it's the SNAP method, right? When a kid has bad body language or makes a mistake, we make them snap. I got this from an NBA life coach. SNAP is an acronym for stop, notice, assess, positive. Snap, stop, notice, attitude, assess, back to positive, or pivot the other way. So it's next play, it's touches, but it's that, man. It's helping them with their insecurities, and that's what they're afraid of, looking bad, and that's normal if you're in a public forum. What about toughness? Because which kind of what we were talking about. How do you shape a practice, a culture in your program to help kids with their toughness? Because if you're tough, it can help the undersized kid. If you're tough, it can help the slow kid. If you're tough, that's the tool the kid uses to fight his insecurities and fears. To me, fear is good as long as it doesn't turn into doubt. To me, fear is great as long as it doesn't interfere with their mindset and confidence. So, but how do you teach toughness?
The first thing is, being tough is a mentality.
Absolutely.
So we always teach our kids, when you first come in the gym, shake your coach's hand. Yeah. Anybody look like a coach, you shake their hand.
I know what you're saying. How does that make a kid tough? Because somebody be like, well, how does that make you tough? I know where you're going, but I want to hear your definition of it, because that is tough.
Well, it's tough. I may come in the gym, I may be having a bad day. I may not feel like I want to talk to somebody. So guess what? I got to shake it off. I got to be tough. And I got to go shake my coach's hand.
Because it's not about you.
Right.
Exactly. That's tough. That's what I tell my players. Look, it's tough to say, forget about me, I love you. 1, 2, 3, family. It's tough to go, you know what, it's not about me. Let me light up your life. Because I'm pissed off right now, and the best way to have a remedy of not being mad is let me go make somebody else, let me light somebody else up. So it's tough to not get into your feelings and get into focusing on the team. Like, yes.
Yeah. And then there's also other things like, Jay Billis, right? He has his toughness article. So every day in practice, each kid, right? There's 4 or 5 of them we read every single day in practice. And we pick a kid to read it out. Huh. It's like a lot of
you study material that teaches kids how to be tough.
Yeah. Because our mindset is we think toughness is just being tough and like fighting. But there's a lot of toughness things as far as like your mental attitude.
Yeah, tough is holistic. Like there's physical, mental, emotional, and spiritual toughness. So you're talking about physical toughness, right, Jay Billis? So he's got a checklist. We touch the line. We go as hard as we can for as long as we can. So if we go to a spot, we sprint, right? We get every loose ball. We dive on the floor. We contact cutters, right? Tough is consistency, holding that follow through every single time. Like, that's tough. It's not always fighting tough, but tough, Kobe defined it as doing little things a long time until something great happens. Kobe called it diligence. That's diligence, discipline. It's doing little things. They're simple, but they're not easy. Oh, it's simple to stay low in a defensive stance the whole possession and talk, right? But it's not easy because we get lazy. We get comfortable. I don't feel like doing. We get into our feelings. Well, toughness is, no, staying here because it's the right thing to do, and it's going to help a defender. It's going to help my teammates be better defenders. It's going to help show an offensive player there's no gap here. It's intimidating, right? Anything you can do to intimidate, that's tough. And so physical things like that, boxing out every time, contesting every time, jump stopping on that screen because that's what coach told you to do. I love that, man. You getting after it, D.
And then also too, it's like when people communicate and talk on the court, a lot of times people think that the talking is like for them, right? And so if I'm playing defense and I'm in the gap, I'm not saying gap for myself, I'm saying gap for my teammate. And so communicating and talking, I think that's one thing that I feel that a lot of kids don't do, and that's a sign of toughness, because I'm talking, trying to help the team.
What are some things emotionally and mentally that you do to coach? I'll give you a couple we do. In our practices, you're not allowed to yawn. That's tough because a lot of people are diabetics. It's addictive, right? So if I yawn, you're about to yawn, but yawning is a sign of disrespect. It's a sign of mediocrity. It's a sign of softness. There's no intensity. Mm-hmm. All the Hall of Famers, Maya Moore, Lindsey Whalen, Brittany Griner, Skylar Diggins, Ray Allen, Manu Ginobili, I physically sweated, did this with them, worked them out, did events with them. They're not yawning. They're engaged. Right. Body language, right? Kobe calls it camouflage and weakness. If you can keep a body language of assertiveness, of intentionality, Gladiator, Russell Crowe, right? Braveheart, Mel Gibson, The Equalizer, right? Denzel, right? You can, he's tough. Why? Because he shows a sign of strength, even through weakness and mistakes. right? How do you guys teach that mental and emotional if I forgot a few things?
So there's a few things, and we talk about laziness, walking. We don't allow walking.
Boom.
When you have to get somewhere, you get there,
No walking.
right? And then we talk about body language. When you pout, you put the spotlight on yourself. Yeah. And
You let the spotlight burn you.
right, it's on you.
Instead of showing your greatness, exposing your greatness, it exposes your cancer.
So we always talk about, you make a mistake, head up. You turn the ball over, you don't have time.
Next play.
I gotta get back on defense. Yeah. So those are some of the things that.
Love it. Last thing I'll say is intelligence. How do you teach that in your program?
So one thing that I do is I always, and notebook, where it's like you have to write stuff down because.
They have to bring a notebook to workouts? Are they bringing ones tonight?
They should be.
All right. That's one way of learning. That's one way of remembering.
And some kids where it's like, you're going to forget. But if I write something down and you spoke on it earlier, you will remember. Yeah. And then, I always repeat things that I'm asking kids. Questions. Hey, what did we just learn? How do you guard this bar screen? What do you do in this situation? And
so you ask a lot of questions.
Questions, yes.
What we do is we do mental sessions, chalkboard. I send them PDFs of the notes. I take notes during the workouts. I show them videos. But also what has helped me is once they get the robotic reps, they get the reads. So if we're doing cone drills with a ball, now we're going to do a cone drill with a coach who's a defender. And you're in shape. You and I can give kids great reads. If we're doing catch-shoot drills, catch-shoot, catch-shoot, catch-rip, catch fake, now, once they get that down, 6 out of 10, 7 out of 10, whatever, now we add a read. All right, if I close out short, you got to shoot it. If I close out right, you got to rip left. If I close out attached, now it's a triple threat game. If I close out trying to take away your three, you keep your three. So it's giving them decision in the game that they're going to face right after that 1-on-0 drill with the cone or a chair. That helps their physical basketball IQ.
This is the one thing where, I've been teaching the game, for some years, and I've always been a person that I always want to put myself around great people. And a lot of times, some people may be insecure because they may not know something and they may be afraid to get exposed, right? And so for me,
we all have that.
We all have that, right? But
that's being human.
Being great is knowing your deficiencies, or if you don't know your deficiencies, getting somebody that's a professional, right? I do a good job at coaching, teaching, right? And the reason why I reached out because I want to be better, right? And I want my kids to be better. So one thing that Ganon offers is mentorship and a curriculum, right? And so I've had this curriculum for a while, right? Where I've taken different pieces, and putting it into, what I want to do. Yeah. But if you're a coach, right, and you actually really care about your players, right, and you want to get better, right, it would make sense to get yourself, a mentor.
If you're not tough and confident as a coach, I don't know if you can teach it, or maybe you be vulnerable to your team. Say, look, I'm not confident either, guys. I'm not tough either, guys. But you know what? We're going to go through this together. So I'm going to hold you guys accountable. You hold me accountable. Now, if a coach does that, man, he just opened up his courage. He took one giant step toward being tough, because that's tough to say, look, I don't have any clue about what Jesus is saying here, but I'm going to try to teach it to you guys today, and y'all need to help me out with this. Right. I might have to do that to something that I'm going to start teaching, because I'm not as great of a teacher at the Bible as I am about life and basketball. Do you see what I'm saying? But me being transparent as a coach and owning my kryptonite, and now have the responsibility to go teach it, it's like, yo, if I can own that and let that out, I'm one step closer to courage and toughness.
And I think that's a big thing, especially in the coaching game, where you have a lot of coaches and trainers that are just taking advantage.
Yeah, sometimes they don't know that they're doing that, and hopefully podcasts like this can help educate them in the right way, and parents. But yeah, I know. It's an industry that I helped start, and I see it all. I want to throw up at some of the workouts because they lack the values we've been talking about today. But not your program, brother. You're the man.
Right.
This is not a podcast, man. This was a master class. You were dropping bombs. You made me better. But I think for parents and coaches, any leaders, man, this is important because sports is a microcosm for life. If you can learn how to win trophies or at least have the behavior to put yourself in a position to win in sports, you're going to win in life. You're going to win in education. You're going to win in your business. You're going to win in your relationship. Like, basketball was created by James Naismith, who was a Christian, in order to create a better community. A guy like LeBron James, who I've had a chance to spend time with, grew up without a dad. 80% of people in jail grew up without a dad. So LeBron James' daddy was basketball. Basketball changed his life. Basketball changed my life. It's a gift from God. If people can understand that, then basketball is a priceless education, just like the degree they get in high school and college. I have a master's, and that helped me learn lessons, but the biggest education I got was from a coach and on the hardwood. 94%, I'm doing an initiative now with a young executive and doing some keynote speaking with her colleagues and companies. She sent me a PowerPoint about females and how they need to learn more life lessons from their college coach so that they can go out into the world. She said over 90% of girls graduating, right, college, within 4 to 5 years are still stuck into making $50,000 or under. Nothing wrong with that, but they don't even use their degree. And the data and the research she did was she asked 20 girls what they're doing 2 years removed from college, and all 20 of them said, I don't know, and I'm having to meet with my college coach to figure it out. Because when they play, all they do is become trophies instead of living trophies. And so 94%, she gave me this research, of female executives played competitive sports in college. So that means the coaches that did their jobs, right, with these 94% of the group actually went out and used it. So the theory is when college coaches teach life, 94% of the women that get that lesson go out and become successful in corporate America. So if you're intentional about it as a coach, you can use your platform of training, of AAU, of rec league basketball, of soccer, of cheerleading to teach character development. And now these kids go out and are positive pillars in society. And that's kind of my closing message is, coaches teach life as well. Parents look for coaches that are teaching the character of how to win and not just to win. And you can't teach what you don't have.
Gotta grind until we finish. Every day we gotta get it. Just hard work, gotta grind until we finish.